Bachelor Nation, will you accept this rose? We love you. Love is in the air. It's magic. 'Cause love is on the air. On TV. So love is on the air. Podcast. It's a podcast. Podcast. Love is in the air. It's magic. 'Cause love is on the air. On TV. So love is on the air. A podcast. It's a podcast. Andy, Liv, Sarah, and Glenn. Bachelor Pod, it's the Bachelor Pod. It's a podcast about The Bachelor.
The Bachelor Pod starts now.
Oh, all right, Bachelor Nation. We just went through what might have been the most emotional, shocking finale of all time. For once, I think it might have lived up to its name.
The most.
Bachelor Nation is shook this morning, this afternoon.
I think that was the most dramatic finale ever.
I think it might have been.
It was so extra, as the kids are saying.
You think it was extra?
Yeah, the way they built, the way they had her on there the whole time, it was a lot.
Ooh, Sarah's early impressions are that it was extra.
It was extra.
I've never heard that term extra before.
Yeah, nor have I.
Yeah, it's when something's too much. You
Something's
just say too
too
much,
much.
but people say, she was really being so extra. I'm not even saying it right, but these lights that we have are not good, Andy, and they're really bugging me.
What?
Yeah.
Where's this coming from?
I just feel like we look really faded. Sorry, guys.
Oh, we can't see you, so we're going to assume you look great.
We do look great. I don't know what she's talking about.
We just look different than usual, guys. Check out the YouTube. See what you think.
I think we all look great 100% of the
I just
time.
don't
Yeah.
wonder.
Yeah, okay.
Personally.
Let's get back into business here, guys.
Well, I don't even know where to begin with this.
Yeah,
really.
I don't really know what to say,
Well,
other than I'm utterly disappointed.
Well, let's start off and give a proper swan song to Eric because he's going to get lost in all this. And man, he looked good last night.
Oh, yeah.
He
Bachelor
did.
Nation was loving Eric. New facial hair.
that
looking
beard.
Dapper.
Mwah.
Whenever
Yeah.
he's in an interview, he always wears a hat.
Oh,
What
that's-
interview?
Wearing a hat.
No, interviews in now he's been on a bunch, not last night, but any other interviews he's done on TV and stuff, he's always wearing a ball cap.
Oh, weird.
Interesting.
That is weird.
And his picture on Instagram is him in a ball cap, and then there's a bunch of pictures on his Instagram of him in ball caps.
It kind of sounds like you're saying bald cap.
Well,
Imagine that. Like he was just
Been hiding
wearing,
a full head of hair. The whole
Yeah.
that'd be really weird.
Sarah knows something we don't. He's just rocking bald caps. But yeah,
Yeah,
Eric
during-
looked great. Seemed to be in, he seemed to be fine with everything.
Yeah, he took it really well. He took it as a learning lesson.
Yeah. And
Learning lesson.
obviously, making his push to be Bachelor, I think,
Yeah.
big time.
Oh, yeah.
goes without question. But I personally would love to see Eric as the Bachelor. I think
Yeah,
he'd be great.
I think he'd be great. He's pushing hard.
They love a journey like that too, from not ready to being ready kind of stuff. So I think I bet you there's some real big some big support for Eric.
I'd say Peter would have the exact same journey, though. So
Yeah, but
Absolutely,
he didn't end
yeah.
up being ready at the end. He was
Yeah, and
still not ready for it.
right,
so,
but that would be part of the
Yeah,
Bachelor journey.
I'm sure he
now
would
he's
tell
ready.
them he's ready. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't want to go on the show if Peter was there because I'm like, well, if you're not ready, if you only want this to be once, and like Rachel said, this is not for you. She said
How did you guys feel when it was the three of them? It was the rose ceremony. We were pretty confident Brian was going to get booted there over here in the Macaulay household.
Yeah.
Same here.
And
we
then
got
it
tricked.
came down to Eric getting eliminated, which was pretty sad. Now, at that point, did you guys start getting an inkling it might be Brian who wins? Or was it just like, oh, okay, well, it's Peter still?
I didn't know because I didn't know what was going to happen when they kind of talked again. And then I honestly thought, and we were talking about it, I thought nobody was going to get picked and maybe she reconnected with somebody after the show or something like that. And that's how she was engaged.
I definitely thought no way was Brian getting picked.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Fully
I
tricked.
thought, yeah, since he made the final two and Peter was all wishy-washy, I thought that for sure she, like what Sarah said, she would not pick Brian and end up with somebody else.
Yeah, because it just, in the way they'd set it up, and maybe that's why, I don't know, it just seemed like, they usually they start talking with the couple with beforehand, but I guess they had a half hour. But I just felt like the way it's set up is set up because.
But it's a new format though, completely. So who knew about that stuff? It kind of was out the window. I felt like a bit.
But I thought that's why they did the new format, is what I'm saying.
Right. Yes, I agreed with you too when we were watching it. I was like, oh man, I think this new format might be because she didn't pick anyone.
Yeah. But no.
But like I was all over the map, man. I thought maybe they were tricking us with Peter. I thought Peter was going to have a dramatic moment and say, yes, I'm ready, and everything was going to be great. I thought everything other than Brian winning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just because,
and here's the interesting thing. Throughout the season, usually whoever ends up winning gets a favorable edit in the end where you can look back and be like, okay, yeah, the journey was clear.
Yes.
But this time, like, nobody liked Brian. Like, Peter didn't like him. Dean didn't like him. They showed his mom, gave him a bad edit with that. They gave him a bad edit with Rachel's family. It's almost like they wanted us to hate him.
That's why, and like, don't forget all that stuff with showing her so disappointed that Peter was like, obviously she would be like that, no matter what's going on, really. But I just thought showing all that means that, like, well, you can't have Brian win this now.
And
like,
not only that, but
clearly second choice.
The format pretty much sabotaged his proposal, in that, so we knew it was going to be him. Which part of the big reveal is that somebody gets revealed as the one who gets to propose.
Yeah,
and then also all those audio issues that were going down during the proposal with all that wind. Like they're so careful about that kind of thing. They test the shit out of it. You'd think they would have been like, you know what, let's just move it inside and we'll do it there instead. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't even notice the audio stuff, actually.
I didn't think it was that bad. People on Twitter were
notice it
freaking out about
I think
it.
I think because by then no one was paying much attention.
Yeah.
That's true. I really was clocked out at that point.
The one thing I'm going to say in her defense over all of this, I'm not a fan of Brian, but I think people can have feelings for multiple people. And I think she's in a very intense situation where it happens a lot that people kind of, and Chris Harrison always says he's surprised how much the women really do fall for multiple people.
And the men.
But he said specifically he noticed that women have a better capability of doing that over his years of being on The Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Interesting.
But away with his stuff, I just feel like it's not crazy that she would have equal feelings for these guys. I don't think that's crazy at all.
No, I don't think it is either. And one thing did kind of stand out to me after all this. So I felt very tricked. Food Hussy,
it was the biggest tricked. It was the biggest
trick. We got
of the
tricked
season.
again. I can't believe us. We do a podcast about this every week. We've done it for like nine seasons of this show, and we still got so tricked.
Massively tricked.
But like, there is one thing though. It's like, after all of this, it could have just been a thing where they needed to create drama with one of the guys. They felt like Brian was the easiest one to do it with, so they gave him a worse edit, and then thinking that she would definitely pick Peter, and then this whole thing with Peter, and it kind of blew up in their faces, and they were like, well, she's gonna pick Brian, so like, I don't know. Now they because like they didn't really do much to save face for all of this, which they usually I feel like they do, and I thought was coming. So it could well be that it's just the edit that we saw made Brian look worse than he is.
And made her seem way more upset about the Peter thing, or because look at what happened with Ben. Like, he said, "I love you" to two women, and it was like right up until the end. We didn't know who he was going to choose, and then he went. But then when you go back, everyone's like, he was into Lauren obviously the most the whole time.
Yeah. Well, I think the format change also is an indication of the curveball, because I think they would have done everything in their power to make it to do a twist where you think it's going to be Peter right up to the last second. But I think they looked at everything and they're like, we can't do that. Like, we're in an unknown territory here. We're left with one person who, like, that's never happened, right? They've never just been left with one guy.
I don't think
where there's been no surprise.
Yeah.
Or one
they have an Emily season.
I was just going to say, Glenn and I don't have the best
encyclopedic knowledge.
No.
Yeah, Emily told the other guy to leave, and then it was just Jeff. And it was
Right.
just Jeff for like the whole final episode.
Oh,
basically.
really?
Really?
Yeah, because that was the only person that like they had their last 3 dates, and then for the final, she told those other 2 guys to leave, and it was just Jeff, I'm pretty sure.
Yikes.
And then he met her daughter, and then
Little Ricky.
little Ricky. And
Not
at
so
that
little
point,
anymore.
I don't think, like, I think the finale was just kind of like, all right, everyone knows what's gonna happen here.
Wow, that
And then
sucks.
it didn't work out.
Man, I mean, you had to sort of feel for Peter when he had to go up on stage after that. And she really gave him the business. That was when everything sort of switched. And I sort of liken my feelings toward Rachel by the end of this episode to how I felt about Desiree when she was into Brooksy. And I loved Desiree. She was like my favorite for a while. And then as soon as she picked Chris, it was like, oh, wait, you're kind of more boring than I thought you were, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I feel similar about Rachel, where it's like, I don't think I knew you at all through all this.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I think, relating back to what I said earlier about the edit, it's like a lot of people are turning on Rachel a little bit for this choice. But again, like, don't forget, like, we're seeing this through the eyes of the producers who are trying to make a dramatic show, right? So
Yeah.
it very well could be that, again, these two just got along like peas and carrots the whole time. And like she said, she was, confused or trying to look for something sort of wrong with him the whole time. It's possible, right?
I
Well,
guess-
like maybe we're being tricked that way now.
The one thing I will say that I noticed, and it wasn't editing, was how she greeted Peter whenever she saw him versus anyone else. And the way she talked to him was in this like giddy, excited way. And I feel like he was emotionally the easiest route for her, which is usually the best route. He just wasn't ready to, after a month or 2 of knowing her, decide to get married.
Which,
And I
How
do
dare
think-
he?
which let's talk about that a little bit. What did you guys make of Peter's
I thought he was just being honest.
sort of reasonable
Yeah.
or reasoning rather?
He was being a reasonable person.
Yeah. I mean, I admit that if you're going to, we've said this before, but I think he probably went into this. You're probably not thinking you're going to make to the end. So you're like, whatever. This is going to be fun. I'm going to go on the show, whatever. Who cares? And then things get deep. And I believe that he did fall for her. And then, yeah, he starts to really think about it. And he reflects on his own values. And he couldn't do it, which is fair. And I think what I wanted to say before was that Rachel was in it to play the game from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
And she found someone in Brian who was tailor-made for that. And whether or not it's for love or for just being like casting your fiance on The Bachelor, she found the right guy, right? I don't know if you can say she's right or wrong for doing either of those because that's just the nature of the show.
Because if you look at Des, she looks very happy and married, and
That's
she has a
true.
kid.
Yeah.
So
For
Yeah,
her,
they're still
yeah.
together. It just at the time, it just seems so lame. Like,
Yeah.
She obviously
Especially after
Brooks
Brooksy.
more.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
But maybe we're also just seeing like the fight for someone else, and then they realize like, well, I don't have to fight for this.
Yeah.
I feel like it's in that way, like especially when it happened with Des, I was like, okay, she settled. But then watching it, I'm like, well, maybe she just realized like it's not worth chasing somebody when
Right.
I act. And she probably has feelings for Brian. Think about our lives, all the people that we've dated, like the people we had to chase, those were always the worst relationships, always. When you weren't on the same level as that person for like, say, most of it. So maybe she just saw that coming. And she was like, fuck that. I don't want
Yeah.
that.
She did talk in the interview segment. She mentioned how she saw red flags before that in Geneva, and that the big thing, the reason she was crying so much wasn't so much because of Peter, but because she saw the ghosts of relationships past and was like, oh, I see this heading exactly where my last relationship went. Fuck, I got to get out of this.
Yeah,
Something
I
along
don't
those
think
lines.
she's a bad person for
No.
making that decision. It's just as a viewer, it was epically disappointing.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
It was the
from
worst.
From a pure viewing standpoint, it was very unsatisfying. to
Like,
say the
yeah, how
least.
many Brian fans are there out there?
I know, and I was scrolling. We watched the show live, rarity for us, and I was scrolling through Twitter during the many filler, boring parts,
Yeah.
and I was curious to see who was pro Brian near the end, and I saw 1 out of like 50 tweets. Somebody was like, "Yay, Brian!" That's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Most the ones I saw were like the Bachelor personalities, just sort of towing the company line a little bit. I saw. I saw some posts about.
And what the weird thing about that is he led wire to wire. I mean, he got first impression rose and pretty much didn't slow down from day one.
Yeah. Which was a good point. Another, I can't remember. Was it the? Dang, I can't remember which one it was. I should. My phone's not in this room. One of the other podcasts. I think it was like the bro dudes, the guys podcast or something. They said something about how like. Guys, like she was obsessed with Brian from day one. Like this shouldn't be a surprise to people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of true, right?
And
like,
I think everyone's like, he's a very confident dude and he seems super cocky. He's also like, say him and Dean, he's like 12 years older than Dean.
Oh, yeah.
So like
Unwood
he's a
never
way.
had a shot. Come on.
Not even that. I'm not saying in her age. I'm just saying in an age in general.
Mm-hmm.
He's a way older man who probably is more confident in general. The older you get, the more centered you get, and maybe he just doesn't give a shit what people think.
Yeah, and wasn't that alluded to? Was that in the show or something we read? I can't remember, but it was like this guy's 37. He spent a lot more time than most of these guys, and in Miami, no less, like chasing women
Dean
around,
said
right?
that.
I think it was a Deanism.
Yeah.
Which, hey, yeah, and for a show like this where you got to do things in a short amount of time, that works perfectly. And then you heard Peter in his interview thing. He was like, we had our first date. It was amazing. And then it took so long for us to get our second date. Then that happened. Then all of a sudden, Hometown started. So he's like, I don't think he in his mind, he just didn't have nearly enough time to form a real opinion on their relationship.
Fair enough, because
Whereas
it's been weeks.
Brian was just like a straight arrow the whole time.
Yeah.
So like I think it's very plausible after the initial emotional reaction I think we all had and still do have from like being like viewers of the show, but I think looking on it now, it's like I guess it's not quite as bad as we all thought. I think we all just kind of saw either the edit or the real like feelings that were there for Pete, and they spent so long on that crying, you know.
I kind of liked it. I liked how intense that was.
I did too, actually. I just meant like
that
they
was
spent
good.
a long time on it, so it
one of the few non-boring parts.
that was the most fresh in our mind about everything. Whereas like this whole relationship she had with Brian, it was so easy to just ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were definitely building up.
Which we did. I did ignore it.
Yeah.
I fully ignored it. I was tricked 100%.
And then when Peter...
I'm a fool.
You're a fool, for sure. When Peter came on... Now, on the other side of kind of not defending her...
Sure, yeah.
When Peter came in for that interview, she was so defensive.
Yeah.
And she's incredibly defensive. Even in her post, she posted something on her Instagram story, and it was like, never a doubt. Hashtag never a doubt or something like that. I'm like, who says that?
Yeah.
Like, you're being defensive in every post you make, every interview you do. And with Peter, she was so cold to him and so upset with him, clearly still.
Yeah.
And to me, that is not someone who is over someone.
Yeah. No.
If you were like, you'd be the way you were with Eric. You were very nice and kind to Eric. And I don't know what happened behind the scenes. I'm not saying Peter didn't deserve it. I don't know. She seemed ultra harsh on him. But he was like, I feel like I'm being attacked, when she wasn't really attacking him. I think he was being a bit of a baby there.
Sure.
I think she was mildly in that she was like, well, in my opinion, you're just not ready for this. You're not. And I think he took that as not so much being you're not ready for the show, but like you're not ready for love or something. And she was, I don't know.
Show.
She did mean the show.
Yeah, I know.
She definitely has a point, and like that's probably the majority of the population.
Yeah.
I just think she was talking down to him.
It was
a
her
little.
demeanor in general too. It was just she didn't approach him with any warmth at all.
But how did he approach her? That's what because it's hard because she's the Bachelorette, so everyone's kind of looking mainly at the way she acts. But it's like maybe like she's like he didn't seem to maybe he didn't deal with something right. Like she seems like a pretty level-headed person. So I'm like he must have done something to make her this upset.
I think it's just I mean, and I don't think this makes her like shallow or anything, but I think it's like a thing of pride. It's like, you're the Bachelorette, you brought this guy to the final two, and he broke up with you.
Yeah,
that's not supposed to happen. So she brings this guy all the way, and then he goes like, I can't do this, really.
But
like,
she stopped it. She was the one.
Well, she stopped it because
decided.
she did want it to go the way it's supposed to go.
Because he kept saying, "Wait till tomorrow," so she broke up with him.
yeah, I mean,
or
sure,
whatever.
but,
Even
like,
Chris said nothing
but
really happened.
obviously, like, he had a very large hand in ending the relationship, essentially.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I thought his last ditch effort or his way of trying to get it to keep it going, where he was like, I'll propose to you, but like I won't really mean it, but I'll do it for you. It's like, Pete, you can't really.
Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
You're missing the whole point here.
Although
go ahead.
I was gonna say there was a part where he was like, well, would you want to get married? If, like, am I the one you want to marry? And she was like, I can't say that, which I guess is fair at that point because she can't say it because of the show, which I guess which kind of goes back to the whole, that's the wedge between them, the show.
That's, oh man, it's a real, like, the show, they love to say how, like, this process, this journey, this works, works for some people. It's but since when does keeping your feelings hidden for a set amount of time for people you are in relationships with, since when is that a good idea? Like, she should have told him the truth there. Like,
but,
in a normal relationship, obviously, right?
Well, but she can't also because
the process
she's
is hiding it because we have to reveal it later.
But it might not even be that. She might have just had feelings for Brian, and she's like, if I say this to you and then I go with him,
right? And
I'll look
it's on
like
TV,
shit.
so I get why she can't. Like, of course, I understand that it's all part of the show and everything, but like, they love to try and like normalize all this, and it's just like, no, man, it's fucking weird as hell, and it's not right, and it doesn't like as far as a relationship goes, it's not the way you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to keep that. If you're talking about getting married, like, you should be able to say, like, yes, I want to marry you, or no, I don't, or I have feelings for two people and I want to marry both of them, or whatever it is, right? But you just can't. So, like, they can't come out here telling us that this process is like all fine and good and everything about it is, pure or whatever. I don't know.
But I think she bought into it all. Like we said, she was playing the game from the beginning. She bought into 100%. She said journey more than anyone I have ever heard on this show say journey.
She also said the word fill a lot.
Feeling.
Yeah, fill and filling.
Yeah.
She says fill. I'm like, who's Phil?
I never really noticed that.
Yeah.
Yo, man, this is how I feel. I love it.
Yeah. Well, the fact that she was so adamant that she had to have a proposal at the end, that's all the end game.
Yeah.
Well, and let's not forget the fine print of, I'm sure their contracts have an incentive where it's like, should you propose and remain engaged for 6 months post-production, like, you're entitled to X amount of dollars and like lucrative marketing opportunities.
Well, they get to keep their ring if they stay engaged for 2 years.
There we go. I mean, look at Brian. He's already posted his merch. Did you guys see that?
No.
He's got merch already.
Of course,
They all do. So does Eric.
With abs on them.
And Eric has T-shirts that says it's Miracles time or something, Miracle season.
Yeah.
One thing that we got to talk about, a highlight of this episode, is when Juan Pablo's marriage was announced and no one gave a shit.
Oh boy.
Tepid response.
No claps.
That was so funny.
The only person clapping was Rachel. And I loved it. The audience was like, no, screw that guy.
And that kind of atmosphere was there throughout the whole thing, really. I don't know if the audience was shocked that they're in this weird live thing where it's not taped after or live after the show. Because there were a lot of moments, especially off the top, where Chris Harrison would just be like, so how are you feeling, to Rachel, which they asked her like a billion times, I think, to Phil at the time. And she'd be like, I'm good. I think I'm good.
It was so awkward.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Like, this new format where they interviewed her and like kind of like watched the show with her. It didn't feel like that. It just felt like you took After the Final Rose and shoved it in parts in between the show.
Yeah.
And kind of elongated it, and it was not good.
It was too much. It took so long to get through the episode.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated. I didn't care what
tough.
she was talking about. I didn't care who she was talking to.
I couldn't even listen to those parts. It was just unbearable.
It was completely unbearable. Like, Eric at least was like pretty fast, right? They brought him out. They said a few things. That seemed to be it. I was like, okay, well, that's not too bad. But Peter, my God, Chris Harrison, leave the guy alone. Jesus. They talked to him for like an hour, it seemed like. It's like, and they kept asking him the same shit. It's like,
Exactly.
I've seen him talk about this already. I don't care.
I think they must have had a mandated amount of time to fill out the episode because they had nothing. Then,
but it's the same difference.
I know
it
what
was
you mean.
2
like,
hours of the actual film, anyways, and an hour of the show. They just threw it in the middle of everything.
It'd be interesting. I wonder
Because I'd say the interviews were probably 15 minutes each, and then it was just.
I wonder if he timed it out if it was exactly the same, because it did certainly feel like those interviews were way longer. But again, that could just be a pacing thing and the feel of it.
Well, usually they have them meeting her parents, so that chunk of the show just wasn't there.
That's true.
That's true, yeah.
Good point. Well, I guess they tried to fill that out with the remainder of the fantasy suite dates,
that's
but
true.
those were quick too, because I think they were saving most of it for the Peter thing, like the dates with Peter, and obviously their big confrontation.
Maybe ABC, is that what they're on?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe ABC was like, this is your last chance to have an after the final rose, because nobody ever watches that shit. And then they're like, you know what? We'll just make the whole episode combined, and then people have to stick around till the end of the episode to see what happens.
The brass at ABC were like, what?
What? Well, this better work out, Chris Harrison. Also, sell these 3 sitcoms that are kind of shit that are coming out.
That felt like an insult. Like,
It
in
was.
a string of insults that they've handed to us this season, that was like, oh, give me a break. I have to watch the same ads over and over again.
Yeah, it's like,
anyway.
hey, watch this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, I mean, I don't want to change it just yet, but here, I'll say this. I think ultimately the failures of this season and or this finale, I think are just, they're way more on like the decisions made from a production standpoint and like the way to present all of this. Think about how many times we complained about rose ceremonies not being at the end of episodes and all this
Second
stuff,
episode
right?
it
Like,
happened.
brutal.
Yep.
So, I don't know, man. Maybe go back to the formula and see what people think about it. And if everyone's complaining about that too, then guess what? Fuck everybody. Who
Well,
cares?
I bet their thing's been rocked a bit because of all the scandals they've had this season, and people probably tuned out of watching The Bachelorette when they heard about like possible sexual assault that was happening on Bachelor in Paradise. And I know that people who cover this stuff have kind of cooled out on it a bit, or even we're like, oh, it's kind of icky now. It's weird that they kept in the mental selling it as the most controversial season of Paradise and kept zooming in on Demario.
Ugh.
Like, that was
that was weird,
uncomfortable.
yeah.
That's gross. And I don't get how that's happening. And it will be weird to watch it. Like, I do feel a bit uncomfortable giving in, because when Juan Pablo said that thing about gay people, I didn't watch the rest of the season.
Wow.
So what's different about this?
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
What?
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. I think the difference. Well, I don't know if it's a difference. It is very icky because they were selling the upcoming season of Bachelor in Paradise on that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they were pushing it hard. They showed clips. I think what they think is that, okay, well, in this footage and everything, they all, like, basically everybody involved decided that Demario was exonerated and that, like, he didn't really do anything wrong, which is good news. Like, it's good that, you know, I don't know, it wasn't what everyone said it was or thought it was. So I guess they're going to just show us that so that everyone can be like I don't know.
They're not going to show the actual moment when
No.
he might have been whatever. So I don't know if
But
we'll
I
ever
think they're
know.
going to show leading up to it, and you're
Yeah.
going to be able to have your own opinion as opposed to what everyone's saying now, which is all just speculation.
Well, it's
right?
come out that Corinne or whatever says that she had mixed prescription drugs and alcohol, and that's why she blacked out. So if she blacked out, then she blacked out. Like, and
Well-
that shouldn't have happened. So, like, I don't know the actual full details. So it's like, but I don't know if everyone does. Like, I don't know. It'll be weird, man. We gotta see what it is.
Yeah,
It will be weird.
Oof, wow.
Yeah.
There was a list on Vulture today about podcasts to listen to. We got a weird little mention where she told people not to listen to us over somebody else.
Yeah.
But she mentioned another podcast that I wasn't familiar with, but she said they're not gonna do it during Paradise. They've
Yeah.
already decided.
I think that was the one that she said was better than ours.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, well, I guess then listen to our one, because
Well,
it's
guess
also
what?
a couple.
We're gonna do it.
She compared us to them specifically because they're a couple. I feel like they're a little nicer to
a
the
little more
people than we
PC.
are, and we're a little more biting and we swear a bit more and stuff. I got the vibe.
We're in the streets. We're out here. We're out here every day.
Yeah.
Talking to Bachelor Nation and encountering people live, talking real.
Fucking raw and independent,
Exactly.
100%
We're
all
not
the time.
owned. We don't belong to no network. We don't belong to no, newspaper or whatever.
Yeah, we swear.
We cuss.
Yeah, we fucking swear all the time.
We get
Yeah.
out there. We get our hands
But it
dirty.
does feel like
Shit.
they're a very much like in love couple that comes at it from like we are couples who are in love, but we never really talk about our own relationship. We're just talking about all the scandals, man.
Sarah
Yeah, we're
and I
talking
fight
about the
sometimes on this.
Yeah,
it's great.
why not? This is real.
It's real life, baby. P.S. Shout out to our fan, Cindy Clausen, for pointing out that article. Shout out
thanks, Cindy. Yeah,
And thanks for being our fan.
that's
Yeah.
right. She did mention in that tweet that she likes us better.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
the joke's
She was in
on
all our
whoever wrote
episodes.
That stinking article.
Yeah. Ha ha ha.
It was still cool, though. That'll improve our Google rating or whatever, probably.
Yeah,
Google
people will
Analytics,
look
man.
us up just to maybe not listen or
Vulture's a
maybe
popular
listen.
site.
Yeah, it is. It's
Um,
true.
So now that
Go ahead.
Now that we're at the end of the season, first of all, we have to crown Sarah Hilliard this year's pick champ.
That's right.
Wow. I wish I wasn't. I'm going to say it. I really don't like being the winner this year, but what do I get? Kisses? Hugs? Candy?
Yeah, we'll give you all that stuff.
Okay.
Sure, all of that.
Also, before we just finish talking about this episode, just the end when they were together and he redid the proposal and all that
Ugh.
stuff, I was cringing so hard.
Oh,
it just
yeah.
seems so over, like Glenn says, like, did we not know you? And it's like, no, we knew her the whole season, and we've seen her in interviews, and even before Brian came out, she was acting different. And once he came out,
Yeah.
it was all too much. It was all overacted, and it felt very not genuine and
Yeah,
gross.
I actually meant to chime in when you were talking about that earlier. Yeah, it seemed mentioned on Twitter. It seemed like overcompensation.
yeah.
I said a bunch of stuff talking about like, oh, maybe it is real, like maybe defending kind
Yeah.
of Rachel's decision. But on the other side, like you said, I think, oh man,
Even
come
if-
on,
even if she
way,
is happy,
way,
she's
all them
overdoing it.
smooching on the couch, please.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. Nobody
Yeah.
does that. It's pure overcompensation.
Every couple in like the past, I don't know, 5 seasons or whatever, has come out kind of shell shocked and like being like, it's been hard, but
Yeah.
we're still into making it work. Like that's what everyone comes out and
Yeah.
says, and they're like, this is the fucking best.
Fucking perfect. I'm living my best life. It's the goddamn best.
Oh yeah, get in on this, Chris Harrison.
So yeah, I think it's kind of bullshit. Anyways,
And I think that goes back, the overcompensation goes back to her being kind of purposefully standoffish toward Peter.
Yep.
Like she wanted to make sure people knew she's over him.
Yeah.
There was no residual feelings. And it's kind of like people were saying today that on social media she hasn't talked about Brian at all, but she's just been defending herself from the Peter stuff, which again makes you think her mind's on Pete Man.
Well, she did do that one post in her Instagram story. I will say she's not like the most avid Instagrammer compared to the rest of Bachelor Nation. So I don't know if, but she
I'm
should
sure
put,
that'll change in the coming months.
Yeah, when she starts selling her FabFitFun
Moves
boxes.
to LA. Yeah,
And the
exactly.
diff eyewear.
now you're just selling that stuff.
Yeah,
but
man,
you're not
give it
getting
to
paid
me.
for it.
I want to sell that shit, no question.
I was
but
trying to think of why I was, again, my anger toward Rachel in the end. And I think one of the biggest things is that if you'll remember the start of the season, I said, and I think we all agreed with this, there were a lot of good guys this season.
Yeah.
There were a lot I could have, there was like a 5 at least that I was like, oh, I love these guys, which is so rare on this show. And she ended up with one that was
One of
like
the shittiest guys.
one of the shittiest ones. Yeah, like the guy that's
Yeah.
the standard. He was
Though
on a
he's the
show called The
player.
Player. Yeah. Like a
Oh, yeah.
wannabe reality TV guy. I mean, he is a chiropractor, which is a bullshit doctoral profession.
Fighting
Wow.
words.
Stirring the
Grandma.
pot. Yeah, that's not real medicine.
No, man, I don't want to go to you. You're going to crack my neck off.
It's true. They make you feel good for 5 minutes, then you got to go back again. I went to a chiropractor
I got to
once.
tell you guys who I've become attracted to by following his Instagram is
Okay.
Adam.
Hold on a second.
What?
What?
Yeah. He's one of those guys that I think if you met him in real life, he's got pheromones. And in The Bachelor in Paradise sneak peek, he's making out with Raven.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that he seems popular in Paradise.
But also,
Yeah.
Robbie made out with Raven Giroux.
I feel like that's a first day date or something like that. And then Amanda showed up, or somebody else showed up for Raven, and it just didn't happen.
This,
Yeah.
I gotta say, listen. I obviously, there's a lot of issues, and like, it's icky what they're doing with Bachelor Paradise. But I'm, man, I guess I'm just not above that because it looks like it's gonna be an
Daniel's
interesting
back.
season. Daniel's back.
Oh,
Yeah, man. Daniel's back, and he called Jasmine a Tyrannosaurus Rex on Viagra, who'll bite your dick off.
Yeah, rip your dick off.
but it looks like he
crazy.
might get some action, and he didn't.
He
the
did
last
get some.
time.
He did get some action.
Well,
yeah.
they alluded to it. You don't know if he.
No,
does.
I saw him laying all over that girl, kissing her on the
Oh
bed.
yeah, and it looked like Kristen or whatever her name
No,
is.
it
I think
Christina?
it was Christina.
Yeah, it did.
The
look like
Virgin?
Christina.
Oh, Christina, yeah.
The Russian.
The Russian.
Ooh.
I have some
She was
gossip.
looking good in those clips too, man. I gotta say.
Okay, I'm ready for a little bit of a gossip corner.
Okay,
guys.
let's do a little
I
bit
need
of a
a
gossip
song,
corner. Sarah's gossip corner tonight.
Okay, so first piece of gossip: Vinny and Daniel went on Millionaire
Oh,
Matchmaker,
never mind.
and they went on the Millionaire Matchmaker.
Vinny and Daniel went on Millionaire Matchmaker.
Yeah, Patty, whatever, like that TV show, The Millionaire
Really?
Matchmaker.
Are they millionaires?
No, but
I'm
she
no
doesn't
fan of
always
Patty's,
do
I'll tell you
millionaires
that much.
anymore. She'll like they're celebrities, so she told them they had to grow up, basically.
Yeah.
So that happened. Caitlin Bristow is recording music, but wait. So she has a podcast called Off the Vine, which I'm sure some of you guys listen to. And she's like, and I sing a little bit on it this time. If you want to hear one of my, songs that are coming out, I listened to it. Not horrible. Nowhere near reality show songs that, like, Don't Be Tardy to the Party or,
Or
The
anything by
Governess or
Carly
whatever.
Waddell.
Yeah. Like, this one's actually, it's a country song, and
Oh.
it's as good as other country songs I've heard. Anyways, and then there was something else, but it'll have to come back to me. But that's the main gossip right now that is going down.
And I can't wait for Paradise, big time. I'm with you, Andy. When I saw Daniel and even just
Yeah.
Diener, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, Dean.
I know. Like, I am excited. I still feel weird about it, but hey, let's just have fun.
Yeah, let's have fun out there.
Yeah,
So-
let's hope everything that we think is the worst is just not true.
Exactly.
And it was nothing, and
a big
everything's
misunderstanding.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Sarah, you won the season. Congratulations.
Thank you.
With Brian.
Ugh.
We all lost out with Peter, and I think a lot of people's pools got busted, brackets got busted, what have you. So let's all give this season a letter grade.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say for how interesting it was and how it kept me on my toes, I'm giving it an A. It wasn't
Ooh,
boring.
Really?
Strong.
It wasn't
Strong.
a boring season.
I was gonna say B minus,
That's
but
it.
you're right,
Yeah.
Sarah. And the fact that I did like a lot of the guys, I'm gonna move it up to a B plus.
My instinct was B minus. I'm gonna stick with it. Like,
Wow.
there were some good parts, and like Glenn said, so many great guys, but just the way it played out, so disappointing.
But doesn't
I
that
gotta
make it
say,
good that you were
I'm gonna
that
give
invested?
it. I'm gonna give it.
I wasn't that invested though. I was just kind of bored and annoyed.
I like. I had some issues with this season, man. Casting a known racist
That's true.
on
Oh,
this
that
season.
too, yeah.
I thought that while the crop was strong, the choices were weak.
Maybe mine's an A minus.
I think I go right down to like a C minus, D plus.
Whoa.
I honestly was pretty bored throughout most of this.
I think I'll give it an A minus because A is like a good. That's like in
Like,
the 80.
what
85
did
or
I-
whatever.
what-
Maybe it's more of an 80.
What did I love about this season? I don't know. I liked Eric and I liked Dean.
I like Anthony, I like Kenny.
Yeah.
I like
Although
those guys, but like Kenny was all fighting with
Yeah,
Lee
he
the
was
whole
just
time.
Kenny got
Alex
distracted.
never got any kind of screen time.
But here's the thing: you're saying that you
I
didn't
did-
like
I
the
did
parts
enjoy-
of The Bachelor that are The Bachelor.
do like Ra-
that is what this show is.
I did like Rachel. I liked.
I liked
for the
Rachel
most
up in the
part.
last episode.
But I don't
here's
know.
my thing,
Her,
like-
it's like you live and die with The Bachelor, right? So like her choices along the way, I thought were boring and like I didn't like them personally. good for her that she found someone or whatever. But like, I don't know, man. I like it when they keep
But he's a piece
people
of
that I
shit.
like. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing for me.
Yeah, I guess for me, I'm not looking as much as like my own interest. I'm looking at more as like a bachelorette season and the interest level that it kept me at compared
Yeah.
to other seasons. Ben, I could give a shit of what happened to that guy. I really didn't care. Des, she was a bowl of warm milk the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying comparatively, like JoJo was great, and I think this was great.
I like JoJo. I liked
Caitlin was
obviously.
great, obviously.
Yeah.
I liked Sean's season. I kind of ended up liking how, what's her name? Catherine came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was kind of fun.
What was the
And
last guy? Who was
Nick.
Nick? Like,
Nick's was
Well,
fine.
Nick's at least kept us on our toes.
Yeah.
I didn't mind Nick's season in the
Yeah, it
end.
was
I
okay.
believe I gave that a B or a B minus.
I think I gave
I wonder what this season would be if we didn't get the distraction of Bachelor in Paradise and
yeah.
like the race issue kind of overshadowed a lot, which is ABC's fault for getting Lee. You take Lee out, the racism thing doesn't come up, and then it's a much cleaner season in that, a more fun villain would have emerged.
I liked her a lot. I felt like she dealt with the shit that got thrown her way quite well.
She was ready to play ball big time.
Yeah, and she was into it,
I did
and
too,
she
yeah.
was genuine. Sure, I completely disagree with who she picked, but her up until that point seemed very genuine,
Yeah.
very on point, and like kicked Demario out in such like a strong, awesome way that he deserved, and the way she did the men tell all was just so awesome.
She was great
and
on that,
poised.
yeah.
Just like, like Matt and Adam, those guys can go to hell. Those
Yeah.
guys
I'm
can
into
go to
Adam.
bed forever. I don't care about those two, and I didn't on the show at all. Yet they were final 5,
And they're
Get
both
outta
in
here.
Bachelor in Paradise.
Go
both
to
of
bed.
them.
Go to bed.
Yeah, and the editing, why not give them some more time so that later on we would have been like when they left, we would have been really heartbroken. Then we
Yeah.
could
They didn't
reset
even
our
get
feelings.
one-on-ones. Like, what's that all about? That's bizarre, right? Like Kenny, like, I don't know, man. It was just, even some of the things are not even in her control, like Kenny fighting with Lee, and then of course her going like, well, I didn't really like that, even though that guy's an asshole. Like, you went back and yelled at his face. That sucks. But and then Kenny leaving because of his kid or whatever. I don't know, man. Like, that's kind of outside of her control. But it's still, I don't know. I was disappointed in all that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This show will
Tricky
disappoint
one.
you. It'll disappoint you almost every time.
I might
I'll tell you
upgrade it
what.
to like a C or a C plus.
Yeah, I guess because like some of the stuff you're saying is
it's
just
better than a
what the
D.
show is every single
That's true,
season.
and I've
Like,
been consistent in that I really only mildly enjoy this show.
I love it. That's why we do this. We have to like it if we're gonna do it.
Did we? I thought the idea of us doing this whole podcast is that we kind of I don't really like it all that much.
I did not know that.
Honest truths coming out. We
Nah,
are the rawest
I-
Bachelor podcast in the world. We don't even like the show, and we still do the podcast.
It's like kind of just okay, really.
Yeah, it is just okay.
I do love it, and that's why I watched it before.
Yeah, you watched it before. I didn't.
don't
I
love
only
it.
watched it because I would sit on the couch next to you. Although now, of course, I do. I'm being a little
I'm not
facetious
saying
here.
I-
I do enjoy.
Yeah, you don't
watching
love it
Don't
for
get me
the
wrong.
reasons of love and like
Yeah, no, I don't.
the genuine nature of the show.
No.
You love it because it's often fucked up.
Yeah, and I like getting
Like
tricked.
that, and we like getting tricked, and we like building up, and you're watching it with Bachelor Nation, which is huge.
Very fun. That's a
There's
very
tons-
fun part
There's
of
a
it.
huge community online, so like I love it. I love every part of it. I even got wrapped up when she was talking to Peter. I was like, Peter, run down the stairs
Okay.
and kiss her. Make this a romantic comedy right now. Like, go figure this out. And then he just sat there and took his shirt off and threw it on the ground.
That was
in
weird for
frustration.
sure. That
He
was
said, "What's
strange.
wrong with me?" Yeah, it's a bit like having a favorite sports team, and like, you know what? Your team's not going to win the championship every season. There's a good chance they might not even win it in your lifetime. In our lifetime, there might not be one good season of The Bachelor or Bachelorette,
Yeah,
but it's fun to follow along. It's fun to get frustrated. It's fun to talk to other fans.
Yeah. You know what?
Uh,
You know what? That really is, I think, the main thing is talking to people, and
It's so fun to talk about it.
Well, I mean, talking to you guys every week is great, of course.
Yeah.
I think something that we are kind of constantly trying to do, but like we should try and watch the shows together more often.
Yes.
That's true. We should.
Not only just the four
let's
of us,
make a
but like
vow
other
right
friends.
now on the podcast.
Next season, next week, we're all gonna watch the premiere.
Yes.
Of
Bachelor in Paradise.
Oh, guys, I did have a secret dream watching that show last night. I was like, this is weird. The format's really weird. They're kind of like doing the after rows during the show. I'm like, oh, maybe this is only 2 hours and they show us an hour of Bachelor in Paradise.
That would be awesome.
And then for sure didn't happen. They tricked me many times. I tricked myself.
You tricked
in fact.
yourself on that one. You gotta be honest there.
Yeah, lots of
Yeah.
tricks.
And let us not forget, if tradition holds true, there'll be 2 episodes of B&P per week, Monday, Tuesday. So we got lots of opportunity to hang out, watch these together, get silly, eat snacks.
Yeah.
Maybe eat some silly snacks, if you know what I mean.
Ooh.
Pizza with jelly beans on it.
Yeah.
Vegetable hot dogs.
Yeah.
We gotta update our who do we think is gonna be the next Bachelor. Has this changed your mind? People are saying there's no way it's going to be Peter now that Rachel basically trashed him, saying he's not right for the show. I read a thing today that Peter said he would not rule out joining if they asked him. So that's something. But it looks like Eric is probably in the #1 power spot. Right
I think
now.
Eric.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
I still think Peter.
Dean's I think is in the running depending on what happens.
Yeah,
I saw
Dean's in
some
the conversation.
I saw some people. I can't remember who it was. It was someone. It might have been someone who was even on Bachelor in Paradise say that they think it should be Dean, and I was like, ooh, maybe that means Diener doesn't come
I'd love
out
to
with
see Dean.
someone.
Any of those 3 I would enjoy.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you got a good. I think you got some solid options.
I
here.
feel like Peter had a close line, but I think it does mean a lot that she said that, and I do think she's right.
I think so too,
if you think that's not enough time with someone, then how is it going to be different when you're the Bachelor also dating multiple women for that amount of time?
Yeah, it's true.
People,
you're right.
Like it just
it's like when Juan Pablo did it. It's
yeah,
like,
exactly. They don't want another Juan Pablo in that they don't want. They want a proposal at the end.
Yeah.
They're like
look
Rachel.
At
they want
how
that.
Pete fucked everything up this time.
Yeah.
Like, he threw off the whole finale.
Yeah, I don't think Pete's coming
my
back.
buddy Pete.
I don't think Pete's coming back.
And I don't want to watch one as the romantic in me with someone who maybe doesn't want to get engaged at the end of it. Like doesn't look like that. That's say an 80% possibility not to happen for him.
I think,
Eric Bigger wants love, man. He's got a taste for it now. He's tasted love, man. He knows what it's
miracle
like.
season.
He's gonna go hit the ground running.
It's miracle season. He's got
Miracle
his shirts
season.
out.
He's got his shirts out. Go to ericbigger.com, everybody.
Miracle
Check it
season.
out. I love Eric. I love Dean. I think they'd both be. Either of them would be great choices. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna call
Maybe
it.
it'll be Daniel.
I'm gonna call it. I think.
Daniel.
I bet you.
Swoon.
I bet you. If I was a betting man, I think I'd bet on Dean.
Dean, eh?
Yeah.
Well, that's my #1 pick.
After yesterday, I'm gonna say Eric, just based on how good he looked.
Yeah. I'd prefer if it were Eric, but I think
Right.
there's. I don't know. I think there's Middle America. They always care about, and I think Dean is their guy for that. Well,
I'm gonna say.
what do you guys think?
Eric.
You're gonna say Eric, okay?
There's nothing on Brian's website with the shirt, but on his Instagram, so I don't know what people are talking about.
Oh no, it's there. There's a link in his profile. It leads to a page with a bunch of mugs.
There's
He's got
a link,
mugs.
but
He's
yeah, there's
got,
no pic. But yeah,
He's got a lot of bullshit, stupid stuff that I doubt anyone's gonna buy. Like I said, Brian Nation doesn't exist.
It will.
I liked her
soon.
ring though, pretty simple compared to
Pretty
other
simple.
ones.
Big
that
ass rock. Yeah.
It's a huge rock, but not like, I don't know, not like twisted rose and white gold all over it. And
Oh, they also didn't show him picking out the
Yeah, they did.
ring.
Yeah,
they
Neil
did.
Lane. They did.
they did for sure, yeah.
Really?
It was brief.
It was
really-
brief,
Again,
but
everyone was checked out. That was post Peter. Like, what? Why are we watching at that
Yeah.
point?
Wow.
I was so hoping secret dream, and somebody mentioned it online. I was like, yes, that's what I want to happen. Is that she said no to everyone and got engaged to Kenny.
No way.
That would have been amazing.
Would have been
Would've
great.
been
Would have loved it.
amazing.
Well, hell, man, we'll be back next week. We're packing our bags and heading to paradise right there with you.
Yep.
Yep.
And then we're going to a mini paradise at the end, your parents' house there in Sarnia, and I feel like we should film it as if we were in paradise.
Oh,
Do a
we
little
should do a
opening.
Paradise style opening. Good idea.
yeah,
totally
it just us being
That's a
pretty
great idea.
normal on a hammock.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Stay tuned to our YouTube channel for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm into that big time.
Then maybe just have some real reality interviews.
We get to pick someone in the Curran family to be the bartender.
Oh my
yeah,
god!
that's right.
And just be like, Andy
And
didn't bring me.
Sue.
Andy didn't bring me a beer today. I thought he was going to bring me a beer because he wanted to get
Oh.
himself a beer, and then he didn't.
I so wish that my dad and stepmom's dog could like deliver drinks. 'cause
man.
that would be my
Charlie.
choice, Charlie, for the bartender.
Charlie as bartender. Yeah.
Well, guys, a solid season of the Bachelor pod,
Yep.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous. And we're gonna keep it going. So we'll see you guys.
Oh yeah. Never mind.
Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted us all to say a word of what we felt of what the season was.
Oh,
One
yeah.
word. Split. That's my word.
Chewy.
Split.
Yeah,
Eh.
Okay, pretty
Off.
gross sounds.
mine's gonna be off.
Great. It works.
That's
I feel like-
disappointing. It all sounds
Yeah.
like we all hated it. You all gave it A's, and you're saying it was weird and
They
icky
gave
and
it
stuff.
B's. I gave it A.
So yeah, thanks to all of our patrons. We probably couldn't make the show without you guys. It's really great. We'll produce a video that'll be fun at
Yeah.
Sonia. It'll be a patron like early exclusive.
We each have a camera, so it might be double cameras.
Might be double cameras. Might be two.
Oh, and
might be
we
a two-cam
owe
setup.
our fan Food Hussy some Canadian treats because she bet us that Brian would win. So
Yep.
It's true.
You're getting some Smarties and some Swiss chalet
And some dried
sauce.
Swiss chalet sauce.
Yeah.
Swiss chalet sauce.
it's really good. I drink it. Basically,
You're obsessed with
It's
it.
really great. Okay, guys. Thanks again. We'll see you guys all next week for BNP. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
If you want to contact us, you can reach out to us on social media. We're at The Bachelor Pod on Twitter, and individually, we're at Andy Holbone.
At Glenn McCauley.
At Olivia McCauley.
At the Sarah Hillier, that's at sign THESARAHHILIER.
If you want to support the show directly, you can go to patreon.com/thebachelorpod and donate there. Otherwise, we're thebachelorpod@gmail.com for an email and thebachelorpod.ca. That's our website.